Hello. Hello, how are you doing? We are here, Elle and I, and we're gonna start talking about anything that comes through. Let's talk about the why we insist in making things in life to go one way. We sometimes believe that the best way for things to go is the way that our minds is telling you or telling us, and sometimes it's not. And this happens a lot in relationships where we've been programmed that they should have a happy end or happy ending. What do you think, Elle?
Yeah, like we were talking about when relationships they end, we end up going through this period where we're not happy about it and we kind of blame and all that stuff, and we're just getting to that place where when you're in a relationship and you end it, why do we need to go through that resentment? You know, there is like a break in the way we're doing things now, so it's almost like when you are together and happy, we should bring that into the ending too, like even with death, like a celebration of life versus a funeral has changed, and we kind of need to do that with relationships too, because usually both parties want to separate but feel guilty one way or another. So when we do, we end up feeling guilty, then we have hurt and pain. We want the other person to be blamed for that, because we don't want to feel bad that we left them, but usually it's mutual. And then so the resentment, because even with my dad passing, I didn't have resentment towards my dad, but part of the grieving, resentment came up and I had it directed at somebody else again. So it's like, it's just a process of getting over a chapter, which brings up fear, you know, because you're going to be going on your new chapter all by yourself, which, you know, can be a little daunting. So we were hoping that through a conversation, maybe our relationships to come and the ones of the past, because of all the retrogrades right now, just if we can find some guidance as to how to walk through those a little easier and not need to blame, or just allow that frequency to come off and out of us in a happier celebration of, yay, that ended, it was wonderful. And yeah, if we can.
Yeah, the whole thing, I believe from my point of view that everything starts with understanding life in a different way. And life, whether you like it or not, it has up and downs. And I believe that this up and down needs to be told. It needs to be told from a very, very early age. When the child comes to the planet, as soon as they start having some reasoning, we start bombarding the child with fantasies. And those extra fantasies, from my point of view as well, I don't think that they are necessary. I think the child has already the creativity and the ability to have as many fantasies as the child wants, and also those fantasies that they are originated from the child, they can be even well developed or share with the parents, make something of it. But there is no need to be adding extra fantasies already created by humans that have been there for God knows how many years, and we keep doing the same generation after generation, instead of allowing nature to take its course, its natural route, and let the children just blossom in the way they want, and they don't necessarily need to go all in one creative way or in one fantasy way. They don't need to think the same way, all of them. For example, things about Christmas, about Santa Claus. I always thought since I was little, what are they talking about? I was maybe for centuries we were not aware of what our parents were saying, or we weren't able to discern that. But I'm sure that there were a lot of boys and girls who were looking at their parents and they were saying, what are they talking about? I know that this is not true. I know it. I just knew it. And the same happened with the three magic or wise kings. No, we call them the three magic kings in Spain. But yes, the for you in a translation is the wise kings. For me, they were the same. They were like a fantasy. Why they are gonna bring the presents to me? Why they are gonna spend the whole Christmas going around the world, bringing presents to everyone? What a life, no? I was like getting even more confused. So I think we are already in a level of evolution, or the way that we come to our bodies. We have already a certain level. That's not necessary, all of that. And that creates more confusion in terms of what reality is. So when we come across with reality, I feel that our lives have been so filled up with fantasies like that and other things, not necessarily things related to Christmas or Easter or things like that. No, I mean about so many things in life. For example, not talking to children about what death is, or not talking to children about what sexuality is, and all this type of different topics that they are taboo for so many years in our lives. And many of us, we had to wait until we became really maybe mature or older, and then is when we started wondering why I'm living in this lie, why I'm living in this I don't know, issue of not being able to overcome situations. To me, the thing all start, everything start from there, from not having this education when we receive what is life about, instead of avoiding what life is about.
Don't teach the right things, do they?
No.
In school, like even your emotions, how to deal with your emotions, how to express what you're feeling. And yeah, you know, depression is bad, this is good, that is this, when depression is known to be one of the biggest stress, you know. So if you don't thinking that something's wrong with you, and you just allow that relaxation of the body to release that emotion, like these are all things that it's just not taught to us. So when they say, oh, you're depressed, you need a pill, versus no, you're depressed because you went through a stressful situation, you need to overcome that. And then when you're talking about the holidays and stuff too, all these belief systems that they instill in children, and the holidays and all this, the tooth fairy, and yeah, these things get embedded in us. And then it also gets embedded in us that it's okay to lie to your children for the sake of fantasy. Yeah, it's crazy, because our beliefs are knowing, and these like really are what we're awakening to, what we're changing our perception to. But then if you look at your belief systems, majority of them aren't even your true essence. You're not your higher self. It has nothing to do with that. So we're breaking through from not only the limiting beliefs, but also a lot of the hardcore ones that were just naturally embedded from day one, you know?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that they seem to go to that agreement in the with the whole human collective. Let's tell children this and that and that. So it's like at some point they started telling to children things, and then they created like a educational system that is in everywhere. It's not in the school alone, because if we had this information from the school alone, the child could discern what they are receiving from the school and what they are receiving from the parents and what they are receiving from society. But we don't have that let's say mirror where to reflect ourselves into. And that make us really confused about everything around, because why the people in the school they tell me this, why my parents they tell me the same, and why when I go somewhere else in the world they tell me the same. And I'm pretty sure that that isn't true. Personally, I live that and many other things as a disempowerment, because it didn't help me to believe in my instincts, because my instincts were telling me all the time something completely different. And when I was telling them, they were denying that to me. And then if I was going to another adult figure, that adult figure was telling me the same that my parents. So that to me was like, what's going on in the world? And that was the feeling from a very early age. Is what is going on in the world? Everything is a lie. It's a lie. And that, if you come to the world and you start living life that way, it's tough. It's really tough, because I think life, as we say, it has already by nature the ups and downs. And if in the beginning, from the very beginning, they already confuse you, that really make a mess of everything that comes later, and everything that. And I think we keep doing that. We still keep doing that. We still confuse children and teenagers, and it doesn't only apply to, I don't feel that it applies only to children. I think adults, we are also being bombarded by things that they are not real, and people are starting to do more and more videos and things from that fake part of ourselves, from all that conglomerate of fake things from our realities, and that has been something so normalized. Because one thing is to create art from the essence of art, another thing is to just be fake and not be yourself, and tell that the person who is trying to create that art is not doing art anymore, because it's not connecting to the true side of the creativity of that person. It's not really connecting to source. It's not connecting to who they are really, and that's when art and any form of expression naturally come through, and that's what makes actors very good actors, musicians very good musicians, when they connect to that part of themselves source, despite the fact that they might be creating something that sounds real to us or sounds just creative or fantasy, but it's a different type of fantasy. It's not a fantasy that has been implanted there. It is something that you create from your inner fantasy and creativity, and you may born something. So what do I feel when I watch videos or when I see videos of people there, like in platform like TikTok and all of that? I see copies. I see copies. I see like if they place humanity within a factory and they're copying each other. And yeah, I'm aware that copying a human being is a way to learn, because we copy things when we come to the planet. But in terms of creation comes from a very unique, particular side of ourselves. And to me, that is source. That is life by itself, by nature, is full of creativity, is full of art, is full of beauty already. You don't need to mess with that in order to create something. And what I see as a result is so many people in TikTok doing copies of each other instead of connecting to their inner self and bringing whatever. Like here, Elle and I, we met, but we didn't know what to talk about, and we want to keep it this way. We want to keep things this way because it's what make us be authentic, keep us authentic. We might make mistake, and that's okay. That's another thing that we want to bring to the world. Making mistakes is not what we were told of. You can have a conversation with someone that you appreciate, that you love, and make a mistake, and also let the world know that you make mistakes as well. And is very human, instead of following some sort of perfection that ends making us being something that we are not. So I think it's very important to go more and more into that inner authenticity, and in order to get to that inner authenticity, we need to clear up all those messed up, I don't know how to call them, but information that we got since we were little and still going on. And I think it's a good thing to start talking about it and activating that within us. Why I cannot be myself when I want to be myself? Why I cannot bring these beautiful things that I have inside that I know I'm capable of, but for some reason I cannot connect to that natural part of me. And that's why, because you have so many things already implanted in your brain, in your behavior, that in order for you to integrate with society, you have been demanded to apply. And if you didn't apply that, you were just excluded from the masses, and so you have to follow ways of thinking. Or is in another example is what I see in this platform, like people doing exactly the same things, and also things that they think that is the best for them. And for example, videos where for example, women they come to the video and they start showing sensual part of themselves, just seeking for subscribers by showing parts of themselves. I have a few different opinions about this. And on one hand, I support that women express themselves in any way they want. Now, when this become a norm, when this become like, I saw that lady, so I'm gonna do the same video showing off my boobs or my bum, and that's how I'm gonna get the people to follow me, no? And that is like positive side, that you are feeling free to do whatever you like, but now if we want to create balance in this world, I don't think that's the best way to show to the world how much you can be there, or how worth you are, and all of that, just based on how beautiful your boobs are or your bum is. So, I mean, is one way that you can do from your freedom. Fine, do it if you want to. Now, if you base all your channel on doing those things, that's when they start to me like saying, come on, you are much more than that. You are much more than that. And you can see that just by looking in the eyes of the person. What happens is that we follow that marketing. We follow that marketing of, triggered by sexuality, triggered by other things. That talking about programming is one another thing, no? That we can talk forever.
Yeah, it is very much programming. Even like everybody, usually wants to find a relationship, right? So then you look to society and they're like, well, if you dress like this, then you'll get a guy. And so all the girls, they dress like that, but you get the wrong guy, but that's what you're taught how to do it. And yeah, it's just crazy. I was also thinking of Tesla when you were talking, because they asked him, what do you feel that people steal your stuff? And he said, I don't care that they steal my stuff. I care that they don't have ideas of their own. And I think with TikTok too, like I've tried TikTok, but it's a weird energy over there. Yeah. Sometimes the lives I think are kind of fun. I checked out a couple of DJs that were kind of fun, just to have a live DJ experience. But that's channeled, right? And I think that's why I resonate with that more. And
Elle and I, in every single conversation, no matter if it's recorded or not recorded, we are learning from each other. I said that's one of the last texts I sent her, that no matter what she says, I always find very, and I mean, for me it's a blessing, really, because we grow, we give reflections of each other, but naturally, and that's what we are supposed to do as humans, to be that natural, creative individual that goes with the flow and feels safe to go with the flow, and connect to that source. And from there, we make new things. We might be right, we might be wrong, but doesn't really matter, because that's how we help each other to get to a new version of what we perceive, let's say. And at the end of the day, there is nothing wrong and nothing right in totality. So it's just a different way to see things, how things are in what we call life. But the thing is, one day, if we start practicing more this exercise that Elle just said, not only for videos, or in everyday basis, in a day basis, bring it on, bring on that part of you, and don't feel afraid to start talking. Just use your discernment to find those people that you can talk about anything. For me, or to me, Elle is one of them. Is one of my sisters on planet Earth that I feel that I can extend to the infinite. There is no any moment that I feel like what I'm going to tell her, or is that I don't question anything. I'm just me, and you will see that there are people around you that they let you be yourself. They might be maybe thinking about certain things in a different way, but that's right. That's okay. I mean, think about it, how many things we've been bombarded with since we came to Earth, and how much all of that can be affecting us. So let's give each other a chance to see what's going on, what happens, what comes out of the mixture of two opinions or two points of view. And that's the magic. I think that's the human magic. If you're awake, you're going to appreciate these things. That's what makes so much quality a conversation. That's what brings the quality to a conversation. Is that natural creativity? Is that feeling? We might not give much importance to it because we are so programmed to don't do that. But the more we become aware of this, the more we start being ourselves, and the more we start being ourselves, the more we feel that, oh my God, having a conversation with Elle was great. It was just great. So. And you might not even be saying that straight in the face of the person, but the other person feel that already. Why? Because there is this communication that doesn't need to be talked. In every conversation, we are using so many other ways of communicating, and one of them is feelings. Feelings are there when you're talking, unless you became a robot over the years. So, and that's why we are talking about, actually, is all this programming.
So it's cookie cutters, right?
Made us like being one, like let's try to make of humanity a version of humanity, like clones. Let's make clones here. I don't think so. I don't think it's not my opinion or Elle opinion. I think is our natural way of our design is just not compatible with what they try to make of us since we came to planet Earth, but it's not working, and it's actually so evident. We can see how the world is going on, and we can see that reflection. No? The world is a reflection of how we've been doing so far. It's not only about blaming politicians and blaming, it's also about taking responsibility, about being for once yourself, and start connecting with that inner creativity. And that inner creativity, if you trust that inner creativity of yours, everything will be fine. But that's the most difficult thing to do, because we've been programmed that things need to be predicted, things need to be it's like plan ahead, and you don't need to plan anything ahead, honestly. Then in our collaboration with Elle and I, we are gonna try to bring this more and more, and we are the first one learning from this. I mean, this is not like us for you. It's us for everyone. We are here learning as we speak. We are just letting the magic happen. And I think it's a good way to start taking not only your childhood, your teenager time, or it's your entire life. Your entire life, if you really want to go to that or find the clue of how to live life entirely 100% to the full, we need to connect to our true self. We need to connect, but not only when we are in our own, also when we are talking to people, because we need that. We need that. Otherwise, we are really like walking over eggshells and not knowing if we are in the right path. That was the feeling for so many years. I didn't know. I knew that there was something else all the time, but I also had to walk a path of being very confused about what's going on in everything, no? And obviously, I'm still learning, and that's why we are doing this also.
You see, like, you change your inside and your outside will automatically change, and it's very true. But you also, I think you need to adapt your outside too. You know, like just recently I went to a metaphysical fair where I had a table for the first time, and it was just so much fun to be around all those people. It was so much fun to do readings face to face and with complete strangers that don't know me. Like, that was all new experience for me, because it's all my business is on YouTube International, never in person. So it was such a different experience, and it was cool because, well, even at the beginning of the fair, the girl that was hosting it, she got all the table vendors to meet in a circle, and then we had this taught shaman from another city. He was there with a drum. He was doing a blessing with cedar wood and sage, and we were all holding hands, and we were just bringing that good energy already before the fair began. And it was just really good to connect in those areas. So I find those type of places allow me to be my authentic self, you know, and to bring it even into this reality, because I have that leisure with YouTube. I can be in my office and be myself and talking to you guys at home, but to be in a safe place, because with empaths too, you take on people's energy. So when you're in a place that's if you're in a place that's judgment, you know, and you're someone that doesn't like to be judged. I don't like to be judged. I don't like to judge people. So this was, I don't know, I would branch out in those type of areas where you feel safe to create. Yeah, you feel safe to express. And it will just validate it, because when it comes out of your mouth, you hear, even if you're talking about something that you don't truly believe, but you can feel like just having that conversation with self, you find your truth, you find your belief. And so I don't know, everything's kind of shifted. I see like my new chapter is more in the 3D reality, but in a 5D frequency, which is, I don't know, I'm enjoying it. We're going to go do another market this weekend and stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
I think that to me, that connection with your inner self is what allows to create safe places like that one, actually. Maybe not in the way that we are specifically talking here, but there is nothing specific really. It's like, just be yourself, and then you will create with your friends or the community something, and that something is going to be always a safe space. Always. If you bring all that connection from love, all that connection from your creativity side, that's gonna create places like the place where Elle went to, and that's all about. That's all about It's about creating a wall where we all connect and where we can all go and not only be that in ourselves from the inside out, but also obviously take from the outside, from, let's say, a balanced community, no? Because I think it's really important also to take from, it's part of the natural experience here on Earth. It's about living your experience, but also exchanging and sharing with others. Without that, life will be boring to me. I mean, finding spaces where you can talk, like our light languages group, or places, places where you may feel people comfortable naturally, not like forcing on creating a space. And also, if you are in the beginning of leading with something, sometimes that forcing can take you to the next step where you bring that creativity also. So I'm not trying to say that did you feel like stuck on somewhere, to don't give you a little push at some point, and because it did happen to me with the light languages group. I was a person who wouldn't come out on a stage to talk in public. I was that type of boy that was always behind the curtains of the stage, and then that was a real challenge to come out and start talking in public about the same thing. You might feel like wanting to create something, and you might need sometimes to force yourself, but it's a different type of thing. It's not that type of forcing yourself in the way that we were told when we were little to do things, and it's a different thing. It's just like you just giving yourself a little push so that your creativity can start flying around. So spaces where you can find harmony, a nice vibration. Obviously, they are the ideal for you to also expand. It's a contribution. Let's take that everything here in this matrix is this stage where we can all contribute for each other. We can contribute in so many good ways. Recently, I got this thing about the gender between women and men has been always bombarded to create separation between us. If you go and analyze the history of human being, the history of humanity, you will see that we've been always from religions to laws to different things. There have been a constant confrontation between genders. When this also was something that since I was little I found, what is all this about? Why men are so distant from women? Why women are so distant from men? I really found myself like extraterrestrial. I really found myself what's going on with humans as well. Why something has been created from source, and when they connect to each other, they have such an incredible, powerful tool, exchanging energies. And why this is so separated in this world? Why is it still so much behind? To me, it's behind. I have, with certain things in life, I feel that they are a lot behind. It could be much more advanced. I know that everything is perfect the way it is, and that there is a divine plan. but I think it's time already to stand up also and to talk about these things, and to start discerning if this separation is really helping us or is not helping us anymore. Because I think that it's not helping anymore. It's
I think
helping.
there's too much ego still, though. You know, I think like awakened people, I see a difference in the gender relation, and then with the ego part of it, when I'm out in the world, I still see that gender of superficialness of connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think it is shifting, and like you said, it's all like divine plan and timing, you know. So, but I found that with racism too. As a child, I never had racism thoughts or anything like that. I had, my best friend was like a black little boy when I was a white little girl. There was nothing. Like his sister was white, his mom and dad were black and white, so there was one sister. So it was just very easy, and it's always been like that until I would say the last 15 years especially, where there's a program being put in the minds of everyone where there's an actual issue where there's not, and then there is in parts, so you can't fight that there's not an issue, but you can see how it's almost been a premeditated program. And I think with the gender too, we have that. It's like you get a premeditated what a relation of a masculine and feminine is. It's sexual, and it's not, you know, it's not at all. Like some of my best friends are male. It's not sexual, you know. It's not that there may not be chemistry or like that, but it's not, you know.
But why we cannot have chemistry,
right?
And not have
one boyfriend.
It doesn't need to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, it's like we've been centuries and centuries neglecting ourselves from experiencing so much beauty, so much love with each other, because unless you get married, unless you get into a love relationship, it seems in this life that I came to that you are not allowed to share that love with your opposite gender. I don't like the word opposite, because to me it's not opposite. They mention it in the language already. It's your opposite gender, and I said no, it's not my opposite. It's part of me, and I never felt it like that. And I think this is easier for people who have a very strong, or for men who has a very strong, let's say, connection, no attachment, because attachment has this negative connotation, but connection to their mother. And this is my case. This is the connection with my mother was helping me to see and discern what's going on also in the world. Why they are so against women when I have this incredible connection with my mother. Yeah. And this is magic, and this is a blessing. But yeah, and why from the moment I get to school and I start talking more to a girl, everybody start pointing at me. Children, teachers, adults, it's your girlfriend, it's your girlfriend. Of course, children feel very shy. In the beginning, we don't think about the impact that has in a child. We just make it a joke, but many children don't know how to take that. It's fun, yeah, when you're a child, it's your girlfriend. And it sounds really funny, but yeah, I have seen many children who, even in 17, 18, they start their teenage time. If you say something like that, they really are, they really get triggered with anger. because they are tired. They are tired of that joke. They are tired of why I cannot be a best friend. Why I cannot be the best friend. Why I cannot be a brother. Why I need to be from the same mother and the same father to consider my sister a sister. Why? It's just unfair. It's really unfair. It's unfair to humanity to continue this way, because we are hurting each other. We keep hurting each other by continuing these patterns that we learned a long time ago. We keep
I remember, Ismael, wasn't too long ago, but maybe 6 years ago, and I just remember listening to the same old joke by superficial men, and I noticed myself doing like a nervous laugh all the time, just and it was very inappropriate what they were saying, but you just kind of laugh it off. And then a day came where I was just like, these jokes just aren't funny anymore, and they don't deserve my smile. They don't deserve my laughter, And so I just kind of, would just kind of more roll my eyes, not like this, but just kind of move to the side, pretend I wasn't even hearing what they were saying, just gave it no attention. But yeah, when you were talking, I was just like, those kids are tired, because they're like, oh, don't repeat history. And it's like, it's not us repeating history. Or history repeats itself. It's us repeating history. It's like we're told to beat the same.
We should start not blaming history anymore. We should start taking responsibility and not repeating, by not repeating what we've been doing for so long.
Repeating that, yeah.
You just did it. You just said it.
Even with Jesus too, right? Like Jesus is going to save you, and we learn that on this mission. It's like, no, nobody's coming to save us. We're the ones that save this planet. Well, the planet is in chaos. We need help. It's like, yeah, when we put our great minds together, all 8 billion of us, we're literally going to move mountains. But it's not a savior, it's pretty crazy. And like you said, with the history repeat itself, take the responsibility.
It's all based in disempowerment, so that we can not connect to source. And nowadays it's still, when you say connecting to source, it still sounds like something that is something you cannot achieve, because it sounds like something big, huge, that is something that is in the Bible, and Jesus was the one, an exceptional human being who managed to connect to source. And he had so many difficulties to achieve that and to connect to that, and that's, to me, is also a lot of programming, because connecting to source is so simple. It's so simple. It's just being you. And that's it. Tell me more, Ismael. I want to really come to you, and hopefully you will start running a workshop, and you tell me how to connect to source. I want to learn, and I say, what I'm going to teach you is as simple as just being you. It's as simple as empowering yourself every day with every little thing that you do. So one of the things I say to people when they ask me is value yourself every day. Don't only pay attention to those things that you didn't do right, but also make an analysis of your day and acknowledge everything that you did good. and that will give you every day that sense of empowerment, and it has nothing to do with empowering the ego. It's empowering who you are as a whole, in your totality. So there is not much rocket science behind what is the key of life, the key of happiness, the key of there is not much rocket science. That we can talk a lot around that. Yeah, we can talk a lot around that. We have massive amount of topics about what to talk around that. But now the essence, the true connection is just like, to me, it's just like if you ask to a plant and you say, connect to source, please, connect to source. It's already connected, and we are already connected. We are all the time connected. There is not much rocket science. And if we are here talking about these topics, it's because there have been so much programming. At some point, humanity will evolve, and at some point, all of this won't be needed, because it will be already vibrating. It will be part of our way of being every day. We will talk about things that goes farther into more expansion. But once that we all humans have this ability to be connected and in balance, we will do like other beings from other dimensions. We will just, from goodness, we will go into more goodness and more experiences, let's say. Maybe also experiencing negative things that they are more challenging, and that they will bring to us more understanding about who we are and what we do. But yeah, I think things are difficult because there are a lot of things when we are little that they are not. We are not guided. I don't feel that we are guided. I don't feel that we are being guided when we come to Earth.
I think that's a lot what people mean when, how do I connect to source? It's like you are connected, but how do they become guided? How do they feel it? How do they experience it? And that's just something we all have to do on our own. You know, you got to figure it out. It's just like that aha moment. It's like, I've read that book 3 times, and then you read it the 4th time and you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. You know, it's just something that clicks. You release the logic. Like, logic for me was a big one where I just had to fully remove logic. I had to remove control of what I was wanting to see in my meditation versus what they wanted to show me. Those were things that I had to do before I could connect more vividly. But yeah, we're all connected. Like when you don't hear spirit or that, it's not them not being there. It's you being in ego, in torment, off of alignment of some sort, that you can't be in that higher frequency because you're dense down. So as soon as you self-love and you get back in alignment, that connection is always there. They're always around with us, you know? It's where is your frequency? Can you get high enough? Or are you too much drama? And we all go through the drama, you know? But if we were always up there, it's like Alan Watts, right? He said that where if every day was perfect, it would be boring. You know, if everything you got, your fantasies and everything, it would be boring. It wouldn't be, and that's why we came to this reality, to experience the highs and the lows and
exactly polarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think this is very connected to why we started this conversation. Is we need to acknowledge that and accept that life is up and downs, up and downs. And that there is nothing wrong with that. But to many of us, even I remember when I was younger, that I was very rebel inside, and I was saying, well, why negativity needs to exist? And so for a long time, I was fighting against the way that life was in nature. No, why things need to exist, such as negative things. And then you find out that it's not the problem is not that the life is made of polarities. The problem is that you are lost in a system where you cannot handle those up and downs.
And they teach you that too. Like when there's a down, it's horrible.
Exactly.
Don't enjoy it. But really,
tears. The other day we had this thing in live, not in the live language group. We had this lady who started crying, and there was a person who didn't who didn't tolerate that person from crying. When crying is the most natural thing, and we should let people cry. Cry. Why it needs to be bad?
We always want to stop and make them feel better. And then really it's a reflection of self often too, right? Where they're, and
to
we've
me,
all
it's a
had
blessing. If someone cry in any of my groups or in a conversation, face to face, in any way, to me it's a blessing, because that's telling me that the person is feeling authentically well with me, or in the environment where the person is. So that is really something we shouldn't stop people from expressing those feelings, because they are finding themselves there. So
I think the whole world, if everyone on the whole planet cried for 10 minutes, oh my gosh, the world would elevate closer to the 5G. We might even
I totally believe the same, because we constantly suppress that natural way of expression, which is so healing, so powerful. So powerful. So I will say that it's like, and it sounds contradictory, but to me it's very similar to laughter. Laughter is in one of the top, and crying to me in healing is one of the top. I will consider them.
It's interesting too, because if I cry, it's because I see or feel something so beautiful, and that's what gets me.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I'm like, if there's something sad, I generally don't cry about it. It doesn't come out. But when something like compassion, if I attach to the frequency of compassion, oh my gosh, that sometimes I'll just be like, can you get that out of my body? Because I'm gonna bawl right now. But yeah, those really.
That happens when we watch movies. When we watch movies, it might not be very related to our lives, but somehow they manage to touch a part of ourselves inside that might not be happening, as I say, in our lives, but as it's touching something that happened at some point in your life, it makes you emotional. So that emotion, to me, is healing. It's why I'm crying with this movie, and with that movie as well, and with that other movie as well. Because you are healing, and it's beautiful. You are reconnecting to your soul. You're reconnecting.
Reason that you watched that movie, right?
Yeah,
it was for that feeling.
And the thing is that, like I say, the reason why you watch that movie in general, but also the reason within the movie might not be any connected to you at all. But you are just watching that, and you might even think with your rational mind, why did I cry for 30 minutes? And you stay there for a while, like in catatonic state, saying, why did I cry? Well, because you connected to something inside that might not be anything represented in the movie. It might not have anything to do with something that you live in the past, but the emotion is linked. The emotion that the movie brings is connected to the emotion that you had at some point in the past, and that unconsciously, let's say, you heal it naturally. So yeah, I do think that anything created from that source, from that flow of energy from yourself, heal also the whole planet. That's why I love the film in the art of movies, no? How do you call the art of movies?
Yeah, cinematic.
Cinematic.
Or something. I think art.
Filmography or no filmography?
The which one?
No. I just went to a translation that doesn't work in English.
We might adopt.
And the thing is really I think we are not talking at all accidentally about this, because to me it's like in a way also a call to reconnect with ourselves, a call to connect, because that's where we are gonna feel what we are looking for in every aspect of ourselves, in every aspect. I'm not finding my blueprints. I know I cannot find the right job. I cannot find abundance. I cannot find. I just pointed to Elle because she's so abundant in everything. So it's great, and we've been talking about it recently. So that's why I just pointed at her. Because there is a lot of abundance. We are changing cycles in our lives, and abundance is one of the things that we are getting. So yes, often we go to these things, pointing at different things in life that I cannot get this, I cannot get that, I cannot get that. The key of everything is getting to that connection with yourself. If you start connecting to that authentic part of yourself, if you start discerning that programming, obviously there are a lot of brothers and sisters out there that they can help you, but you have that ability. Everybody has this ability, the ability of following their true self every day, in everything. And you need to be, for this, you need to be loyal with everything you do from the moment you wake up. I'm going to do this because I feel it, because I want it, because it has meaning to me. And then if I don't find the meaning on something, I'm gonna have a go and see if I get the meaning. That after trying, I don't get anything from that. Okay, I try something different, but start living life from what you are feeling inside, and also from being in communities with other brothers and sisters who can bring you also that connection, that love, that share. Because when we share, our light become more light, and that's the beautiful thing about things that I still don't know why we don't do it more often. I'm still feeling like I've been here 44 years on Earth, and I'm still feeling like why people don't have more fun with each other, having a nice conversation. That you don't need drugs, you don't need. I'm not against them. You do whatever you like with your life. You are responsible of your lives, but there is a natural, also addictive thing that to me is the best of the best, which is communication. Talking to others from your heart, from who you truly are. But in order to reach that, you need to start by being authentic with yourself. You need to start being, because to me, there is a relationship with yourself. And we need to have a loyal relationship with ourselves. If I keep lying myself, like I was doing for a period of my life, because I was so messed up in the roof here, so it took me a few years to find that I was influenced by something that when I came to this planet was already there. And I felt like taking responsibility at some point, and that's when I started living my life properly. And it didn't start a long time ago. It started for me, it started when I turned 38, really. Everything started in 2012, earlier, the transformation, but the true happiness of having the up and downs and still feel happy with life the way it is, I didn't experience that until I turned 38. So it's a long time. I think it's a long time that hopefully with our contributions we will support the youngest generations to don't have to go through so much. On one hand, because they are already very developed as souls, they are very advanced. On the other hand, a lot of people say, yeah, but because they are so advanced, they don't need our support. The contrary, they are so advanced that they are so sensitive. They are even more sensitive than our generations. Yeah. So they need that support to adapt into this wall of density.
Not to mention they're getting raised the same way we were. So they're being shown the same BS that we got.
We still have the same educational system in the schools. And parents are reacting to that, and they are starting to educate them privately, let's say, or hiring someone, or just their mother and father staying with them and teaching them math, science, but not only that, also drawing, painting, sports, music, all type of things, and I'm so happy every time I see parents realizing that we cannot continue the same way, realizing that it's worth for the child to. What I find is a little bit that needs. If you are a father or a mother to a child, and you are educating them, you are being their mother, but also their teacher, and I mean a teacher like a school teacher for them. I think an area that needs to compensate is taking children to places where there are more children. Because I'm finding that a lot of parents who do this education at home, they forget that sector or that part of us that needs to socialize. The school has this by nature. Gathering every day with other children helps to develop your social skills in the future. So
because I homeschool, and we don't often have other children around, but whenever we go to the playgrounds or anything, they always pick up friends. It's very easy. They're very sweet. And so it's kind of funny because they have online friends, kind of like I do too. They're very, very much like that, but they're awakened, right? So it's very different than when kids go to school. Like they'll at the playground, they'll come to me and they'll tell me what's going on at the playground. This is a bully, he's picking on that one. It's kind of interesting over here, and it's so funny to see it at a perspective of a child, but they are very sensitive too. So if someone comes up and says something rude about the brother or another kid, they don't like that, so they have this this feeling or this sadness almost that can come. But yeah, it's interesting with certain kids though too, because if you see them around the same kids, then they influence, they peer pressure. You see the change in your child as well, and they see it too, and they don't like that. So I understand, like, to get them around kids, it is important, but at the same time, if you have them always around kids that are going in the school, there's going to be the difference.
This is the thing, that if you take them to school, to a place where the things that they teach them are not in alignment to what the kids are, because something that to me is difficult to understand, how can be the educational system that we receive, the same educational system, why it hasn't been upgraded? Oh yes, Ismael, things has changed, we don't give the same lectures or lessons, no, it's still the same system. It's the same programming. That you change few things to make people, to calm down people who are bringing new ideas. Yeah, you did your best to bring new things to make people feel more calm. But the thing is, going back to that point, if something you are teaching for how many hours they spend in the school? 8 hours? We used to spend 8 hours in Spain. 8 hours talking about things that they are so much in disalignment to what the child really wants to learn. Because it's often it's not the subject wrong. No, it's just that the child is not connecting to that subject, and you're not giving S capital one or a big VS about what the child, how the child feels.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense, right? And then they're like,
it's not following. The child is not following. So why do you think? Why do you see when you look around as a teacher that the children are looking to the window or painting something in the notebook or just texting or doing? It's because something you are teaching is not connecting. It's not connecting. So for how long we are not gonna take that into consideration? If the children are not connecting, something is wrong with what you are teaching. It's not that the subject is wrong. The subject is not wrong. It's just not connecting to every child. So you need to really bring a new system where you can offer to every child something, a variety of things where they can choose from, and then let them choose.
Yeah. Make different classrooms that way, right? Like, they're interested in this, they're interested in this.
Do you like more music? Do you like more painting? Do you like more physical education? Do you like whatever? But let them choose.
Like 3 topics per kid too. Like, it's just too much. With Sam, when he was in grade 1, I started homeschooling, and I went to a Catholic church program. It was 6 hours of curriculum for grade 1, and that did include your lunch, your break. So I was like, I'm not doing school at my house. I'm not teaching this Catholic schooling for my kid. And
they wanted you to follow a protocol.
Oh, they did, yeah. Wow. And that was the last year I went to non-schooling. I don't do any schooling. Both my kids are reading. They know math. They love to count money and stuff like that. Like, it's fun, and they are so creative. They just, it's different. And then people also say, don't be a friend, be a parent. And this to me is like, no. If my kids, I am like the one person they know that they can trust wholeheartedly with any topic. We talk. We talk about things, and that's how we learn. And whatever's going up, if they have a question, like, I'm an open book. And that is just, I'm a guardian. You know, I'm not a parent. I don't tell you, oh, you're not tired, it doesn't matter, go to bed. I don't do things like that at all. Like, I have such respect for my kids, and they're beautiful. So but when I started doing that, like non-schooling, not doing this, I get feedback from my mom, my friends, other family. Well, you need to teach this and you need to teach that. I was like, no, I don't. I don't. They learn. This society, YouTube, internet, they learn so much more than we knew in school. So
totally.
fast.
And why you need to be boxed in being a friend or a parent or anything? Because if you ask me, who was your mom for you? And my answer will be everything. So why a mother cannot be everything? Why she cannot be the friend, the mother, the guardian, the whatever you want to call it, and you name it. But
yeah. It's hard though, because like my mom, she was a really good mom, but she learned how to parent in a Reader's Digest book.
Yeah.
So like when she had me, I wasn't breastfed. She knew not to pick me up when I cried in my crib, that I had to be there in 2 hours for a nap, or you were going to raise a kid that was not disciplined and things like that. So
she followed the instructions.
Yeah, she followed the instructions.
Wow.
And then she saw how I raised my kid, which I snuggled those babies all the time. Like they were just constant. They grow so fast. And so my mom was just
that's the instruction book. This is the instruction book.
Yeah, like enjoy that little bottle. My friends too, they're like, oh, we have to go at 6 because we have to get the kid in bed by 7. If they don't go to bed by 7, then they're up and all these things. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that sounds...
All that programming, no? Stopping nature from being alive, no?
Well, yeah, because the parents were all having fun at dinner, and then suddenly they check their watch. They have to get the baby in bed by 7.
They're conditioned.
Yeah. The baby will sleep in the...
And this is the same thing. Actually, we are literally talking about the same thing. Everything starts from the beginning. From the beginning, we are in that conditioning loop of everything, everything. So that's why we say, come back to your source, come back to your alignment. And if for you source doesn't exist as God, it's just about connecting to yourself, to you. Okay, you don't need to be a believer. You just need to be happy with every single thing that you are dealing every day. I mean...
Yeah, because I'm not like promoting homeschooling or non-schooling, because I have friends that their kids excel in school. They're really good at sports. They're really good at...
They are compatible.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that all children are compatible to that system.
Yeah. But definitely with the golden children and everything, like, don't think that how you're parenting is how you're going to parent that child, because that child will teach you a new lesson. Cohen, he broke the mold for me. There was all the parenting things that I learned just didn't work on him. And
this is happening a lot. This is happening a lot. When parents release the programming, is when they start realizing that the parenting thing that we learn that is only in one direction, is parents teaching children, is when we realize that your children are teaching you what you need, and you're teaching them what they need. And it's not only one-way system. It does goes from parents to children, and these children in this new era, they didn't come accidentally. They came as so advanced souls, because we adults, we needed also a hand. Sometimes it sounds to me like we decided to come here volunteering. And when we came, we say, oh my God, we really got lost. And at some point we say, God, help us. And then they started sending these souls and children to also give us a hand.
No? Kids were definitely a gift. Yeah,
they are the link. We think that they are the link for them, but they are also the link for us. Definitely. And so coming back to that point of being with other children, if you are in a center or in an educational center, in a school or whatever, and what you are teaching there is in total disalignment with what the children wants to learn or expand with, the experience of the child in that collective is not going to be as fruitful as if they are in a school where they are all teaching different subjects, and there is an alignment in how to approach every child depending on what they want to learn. So I have found that. I have found children who go and socialize with other children who are in a school where there is an environment where they treat different subjects and they follow this new era, let's say future system. And I can see that there is a huge, massive difference that at some point we will put everything together and will make us more realize that it's not about exposing your child to a group of children that can influence your child in a negative way. It's actually, once again, is the institution. The institution where they are learning is the responsible of that from happening. To me, the bullying is from the institution. It's not. It's you.
No, because the true child wants to be friends. Like, they make friends so easy.
By nature, children wants to connect.
They do.
What happens that they put them in a place where they feel frustrated every single second. They start watching the clock there and they say, "Oh my God, 4 more hours. I need to be sat in this chair here." And do you remember when we had the art class, or for me was also science, or biology and science? Those classes, I was just waiting and waiting for the clock, like tick tock, tick, and watching it there. I say, Jesus, thanks God this class finished. I didn't like at the time maths. Now I like them, but at the time I didn't like them. Also, we need to take into consideration that a child might not like at a certain age something and might like it later on in their life. That has happened to me. I didn't like maths when I was in the school, but later on, as a teenager, I started loving math. So that was my let's say divine timing for me to learn math. And we need to start respecting that and also observing that. So not teaching a system where we don't teach children from a protocol, but from observing what they need, what they want, what are the things that motivate them, that make them happy. If you see a child smile or totally concentrated, like gone, drawing or doing maths or with scientific experiments, okay, that's telling you that the child wants to go that way. Sometimes you don't even need to ask, because if you ask the child say, I don't know what I want. So we are responsible, the adults, to show to the children different things and let them feel them. Let them feel them. We cannot get an answer. You cannot go to a child and say, "Oh, what do you want?" Because this is something that they are doing as well. What do you want to do? The science class or this class? And the child feels compromised there because they don't really know, because they haven't experienced or experiment that yet.
Yeah.
So we need to bring a system of an educational system that adapts, not adaptable, I will say. Something that is adaptable. It cannot be in one way alone, or in 10 different ways.
Too long. It's way too long too. You know, like it's way too long.
Yeah.
School, it's just and same with the 9-to-5 job with people too. It's way too long. The more sensitive we're becoming, like the market we just did was 8 hours, and I was zonked because I do energy work, right? So by 4 o'clock, I was just like, I was tapped, and I still had another hour to go. The next market that we're doing is 4 hours, so I'm like, yay! I'm so excited to do that, you know. And I think that's with school too. It's just like it's too long. It's just
too long. Yeah.
And the whole math thing too. Like if you don't want to learn math, you don't understand it, it doesn't mesh. There's a calculator. Even the kids like nowadays with searching for things, they don't type it out. They just push that little microphone and and they find exactly the video, exactly this. Like we're just going to be overpassing a lot of what they're still teaching. You know, writing, we're not going to be writing. We're going paperless. You know, it's like, come on, bring something new, bring something.
Paperless, and also I will say that even beyond, we are going to go telepathically.
Right?
We are going to start communicating from telepathy at some point, obviously.
Yeah,
for all the humanity to do that, there is still a while to go.
Yeah, like if I started doing telepathy at 41, I think. And so if that clicked on for me, like all these new children that are here, they just naturally have it. Sam is very telepathic. It's crazy, right? So
incredible.
Like we are like, we're the older generation here. So, but if we're clicking on too, you know that this is going to just be like shooting signals. And yeah, we're going to be
I do telepathy with the children whilst we are playing basketball.
Oh, I like that.
So we don't explain the tactics, but we look at each other and just the eyesight contact tells everything. And it's not like, go there, like this. No, it's just by just looking.
Yeah.
That's it. They know it. They know because in my role in basketball is to be the guard, and the guard is like the brain.
Yeah.
So you create you organize your team. You are like the captain. There are situations where when I am the older, maybe there is another older like me in the opposite team, and then the rest of the team from both sides are only children. And we practice this, but not because we go with the intention of practicing this. It does happen naturally, just naturally. It's like we play using telepathy, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And what is facilitating that again? Fun, joy.
Exactly. Like if you're
that's
in
what
that
increase the vibration.
Yeah, the give and the receive, right? If you force and take it, you're not getting it. But if you're in that give and receive, and it's all in fun, like if they get it or not, or it's not about winning the game, it's about just having enjoyment. Yeah, everything just bing bong bing all fits together and works out.
All perfectly fit.
Yeah.
And when you don't punish, there are still adults that play in the opposite team, and then I need to remind them often, please don't punish them. Don't tell them that was wrong. Tell them something like next time, or keep trying, or something like that. Here in UK they say, oh, unlucky. that's something I don't like neither. When they miss the shot, they say unlucky. I say no, it's not unlucky. Just keep trying, because this sport is about persistence. It's about dedication. It's about practice and practice and practice. And I started playing since I think since I was 6 or something like that, and then that became part of my life since then. And now when I see children, I see them that from the very beginning they say, "Oh, I'm shit at this." I say, "Why you are saying that?" I say, "Well, you can score all the time and I cannot score." And I say, "Yeah, but since I was like you, I've been 40 years here on earth practicing, so don't give up. You need to keep going and never give up, because basketball is about that. You will reach that accuracy. It's something like driving, no? When you are driving a car, there is a moment when you stop thinking about what to do when you are driving, or when you are cycling, the same. When you are riding a bike, there is one moment that you don't think about, I'm gonna fall or I'm not gonna fall, or you just go. You just
even new jobs, right? Around 2 months,
new jobs.
You stop asking anything like, do I have to do it this way? You just know. Yeah, you got it.
Anything. Yeah. What happens that often we want to jump that process, and that process is when we need to facilitate more to everyone, and that is education. That's where education comes to, like, the big thing to play. And but if you create those situations where the child is motivated, where the child like what he's doing, oh my God, you are gonna really see magic between them.
They'll want to be there. Yeah, it's completely.
They want to be there. Yeah, they see me, and they come and they hug me, and the parents who are in the park, they are just, what do you give to them? And I say fun. Maybe sometimes I say understanding. Also, if they are asking me something, the attention that they need, because sometimes we live in a life that we are so busy that they are asking things that they are meaningful to them, and they are not meaningful to us because we are busy with life. So that's it. And I'm not criticizing parents for that, because I know that everybody has a lot to take, a lot to deal with. But yeah, there are other people, coaches in a sport or in any other activity, that they can also provide that.
It was like that when I was young too. Do you think like Spain has changed at all this time?
The same thing. The same thing. If the same. We are trying to simulate what the big potential countries do. So we are trying to copy what England does or what the US does. So if you go to big cities, it's already like here. Now, if you go to smaller cities, you still have this authenticity, this safety of having your child. They just knock in the door and they say, Antonio, I want to play with you. Do you want to come? Okay. And that's you can tell that the amount of hours that they spend with a PlayStation diminish dramatically, because they find that connection to playing in the ground, playing in the park, or playing somewhere in nature, and allowing also their creativity. I remember that we were anything was on a spaceship, anything was a mission to go somewhere and create something. We were creating houses. We were creating. Oh my God! Our creativity was incredible.
Ishmael, I have to go though. I'm so sorry.
Yes, it's okay, love.
It was a good talk though.
Always.
Yeah.
Let's start this.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.